I stood in the hallway, and at first, I didn't realize they were talking about me. The words were coming from behind the decorative wall of the living room. Low, vicious, clear. Amber, stop. Just a little longer. He'll ruin everything. I am tired of waiting. When will this old hag finally kick the bucket? The air caught in my throat. The old hag. It was me. Me who hadn't gotten out of bed for 3 days. I heard every word. She wanted me dead. He stopped her, not because he didn't want the same, but because he was afraid of making a mistake. It's time for us to start planning the wedding. Finish it, Arthur. I won't wait forever. That's when it all fell into place. My husband wants to kill me. Not divorce me, kill me. And this girl is young enough to be his daughter, and yet she demands my death as if it were her birthright. The air was leaden. I started slowly from the wall into the corridor. My head was spinning. I made it to the stairs and stopped. My strength gave out right there, by the railing, in the dark where no one could see me. My knees buckled. I collapsed onto the steps. My fingers were shaking, sweat on my forehead. Sobs were coming, but they surfaced silently, just tremors racking my shoulders. Someone lifted me. Strong arms, no useless words. Let's go, Madison. You shouldn't have come downstairs. Damien Stone, Arthur's head of security, a massive, cold, silent man I'd always been a little afraid of. Right now, his arms were the only thing keeping me from falling. He took me to the bedroom, tucked me in. He said one sentence at the door. You shouldn't wander at night. You aren't strong enough yet. Then he left. He left me alone with what I had just heard. If I wasn't so terrified, I would have fainted. This man always scared me. But now, that didn't matter. I have to think about the fact that my husband is plotting something horrific. I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. Outside, it was pitch black. The room smelled of wood and home. I reached for my phone. No signal, no internet. For 3 days I hadn't noticed. I was just sleeping. Now I understood why. Took the pillow and pressed it to my face, quietly, so no one would hear. I cried like I hadn't cried since childhood. Not pretty. Sobbing. Into the wet fabric. My husband wants to kill me. I can't wrap my head around it. This only happens in movies. No, this isn't a movie. This is my home. My husband is behind that wall, and he's negotiating with his young mistress on the best way to get rid of me. I'm 34. I just got out of the hospital, and I'm trapped in this house with no connection to the world. I forced myself to stop crying. I rolled onto my side. I told myself one simple thing: survive. I had to think, why did Arthur bring me here? He called it a second honeymoon. I believed him. I believed everything. After the hospital, I felt better. But as soon as we arrived at this house, I started fading again. Nausea, weakness, dizziness. I thought it was the aftermath of the illness. It was the aftermath of dinner. Then I remembered. This evening, it wasn't Arthur who brought dinner, but Damien Stone. I didn't drink the juice. I just couldn't reach the glass, and Damien Stone took it. He walked silently to the window and poured the contents into the pot with the ficus. I saw it, but I didn't think much of it. Now I realize he was showing me, deliberately, on purpose. It was a sign. This man, whom I'd always been a little afraid of, just saved my life. The question is, why does he need me? He came at night. Honey, are you awake? Yes. My husband freezes for a second, looking at me in disbelief, then enters the bedroom. He stopped by the bed. He looked at me as if I should have been dead already, yet here I was, alive. It surprised him. Your eyes are red. Have you been crying? I had a nightmare. Just woke up. I didn't breathe until he looked away. Did you have dinner? Did you eat everything? Yes, I just didn't finish the juice. I'm tired of orange. You should have said something, he said with a faint smile. I knew I shouldn't have trusted Damien Stone with it. I should have supervised everything myself. It's not his fault. Arthur, I'm very tired. Will you turn out the light? Of course, dear. He flipped the switch and left. I lay in the dark. My heart was racing. He was checking to see if I drank the juice, and he was very disappointed that I hadn't. Arthur came again in the morning, with a tray, with a smile, with pills. How are you? You look much better. I'm not sleeping well, I replied. The door cracked open. Damien Stone appeared on the threshold. Hard black eyes. He said Amber Lawson was looking for the boss. Something urgent. Arthur handed me a handful of multicolored pills. I took them. Put them in my mouth. Drank the water. Smiled. My husband left. Damien Stone stepped forward. He leaned right over me, looked into my eyes as if searching my soul. You'd better spit those out. While they're in your mouth, they're absorbing into your blood. I spat them right into his palm. I bolted to the bathroom. Rinsed my mouth with cold water. When I came back, he was gone. He just left, without explaining a thing. This man terrified me and saved me at the same time. And I still didn't understand why. I knew I was risking it, but I did it anyway. While Arthur and Amber Lawson headed to the lake, I headed downstairs. I took hair removal cream from my bathroom and entered the guest room. Everything proved it. Amber Lawson had been here before. Photo frames on the sill, last year's planner, manicure set. She lived here. While I was sick, she lived here. Open suitcases littered the floor. One held cosmetics. I grabbed her bottle of hair conditioner, those red curls she loved so much. I flipped the cap, squeezed, closed it, shook it hard. It was a small, petty, childish stunt, but I couldn't stop myself. Suddenly the door swung open. The tube slipped from my hands. Fell. I flinched and looked up. Damien Stone walked in. Damien Stone picked the tube up from the floor, handed it to me. Is this yours? Yes, thank you. Madison, I told you it's better if you don't leave your room. Why are you helping me? He asked directly. I was hired to protect you and your husband. I'm simply concerned, he replied in the tone of a robot. Massive and entirely non-human. Then he added, as if in passing, if you're interested, Amber Lawson is lactose intolerant. I didn't have time to answer. He took me by the wrist. With one motion, he lifted me into his arms and carried me, as if I weighed nothing. In his arms, I felt fragile. He was huge, broad shoulders, strong hands. So frightening, and yet so reliable. He set me down on the bed, pulled the tube from my pocket. If you're going for revenge, go big. I'll dispose of this. They came together that night. See? She's asleep. I heard Amber Lawson's footsteps. I felt her leaning over me. She pulled the blanket off my head. She really is out. Good drugs. We should increase the dose so she doesn't wake up at all. It's so simple. Get away from her, Arthur hissed. Not the time or place. What's your problem? This was your idea. I suggested a simple divorce. But for some reason, you're determined to be a widower. Do you really need to discuss this here? He snapped. I lay there, breathing slowly, evenly. I didn't move. When they left, I opened my eyes. So divorce wasn't in his plans. In a divorce, he'd have to share. A widower gets everything. The money, my father's company, this house. It became perfectly clear I was supposed to die quietly and conveniently. That's not going to happen. I lay there thinking, until morning. Suppose I run. It's over 60 miles to the nearest gas station. In my condition? Impossible. I need a car. I don't have the keys. But first, what? Just leave? Number, he shouldn't get away with just a divorce. Not after what he's done. He's not afraid of losing me. He's afraid of losing money. To him, money is everything. The polish, the comfort, the status. There is nothing more terrifying for a man like him than poverty. So that's where I need to hit him. Not in the heart, in the wallet. But first, I need to survive here. Don't take the pills. Pretend to be sick. A few days without the drugs will be enough. My strength will return, and then figure out how to make him lose everything. I won't die. He will. Slowly, inevitably. The money, the freedom, the name. I'm not going to become like that maniac. I am preparing something much worse for him. Damien Stone came at night. He sat on the edge of my bed, just so he wouldn't have to speak across the room. I tensed up, but didn't pull away. Your husband destroyed my family's life. 5 years ago, he met my younger sister. He swept her off her feet, then dumped her while she was pregnant. Lily Stone. Depression. A child she doesn't want to see. Her older sister quit her job to care for the baby. And our mother didn't survive what happened to her daughter. Her heart couldn't take it. You got a job with Arthur to get revenge? I asked. Yes. At first, I wanted to give him a chance. But a month ago, he got drunk and started talking. He told me how he laughed at Lily Stone's letters, how proud he was of himself. That's when I made my decision. So you're here for vengeance? Exactly. But I didn't want to act impulsively. I waited. And then you appeared. Are you helping me because your revenge won't work without me? I asked bluntly. Damien Stone looked into my eyes. Heavy. Honest. Because it's the right thing to do. I wasn't going to beg. I set the terms. I want in. You don't know Arthur the way I do. You don't know what will break him. Without me, you'll just cause a scene. That's it. Why should I listen to you? I can act alone. You can, I agreed. But you won't be able to leave. He looked up. While you were busy, I went into my husband's office and changed the code on the main gates. Now, not a single car leaves without my permission. The remotes won't work, the gates only open with a manual password, and I'm the only one who knows it. You haven't wasted any time, he said coldly. This isn't an offer. It's an ultimatum. A long pause. A heavy gaze. I'll think about it, Damien Stone finally said. Don't think. You've already agreed. He said nothing. That was his answer. First, the cameras. I had sneaked into Amber Lawson's room myself and completely forgotten that the entire house is under video surveillance. If Arthur checks the footage, everything falls apart. Damien Stone came for me after midnight. We went to the office without a sound. I knew the computer password. I knew how to disable the cloud sync. I handled the cameras quickly. Now they were on, but recording nothing. The cloud was wiped, the trash bin empty. Then I stopped and added something else. I blocked all the key fobs. Only I have the password now. How much longer? Damien Stone whispered from the shadows. Done, I replied and turned off the computer. We left. Right at the door, I heard hurried footsteps in the hallway. Amber Lawson. Without a word, Damien Stone stepped between me and the hallway. He said something to her about doing a sweep of the house. She left. I made it to my bedroom, pressed my back against the wall, and exhaled. While Arthur and Amber Lawson were away on a picnic, I had time. I went downstairs, took the keys from the vase, and went to the garage. I was terrified. My hands were shaking. My heart jumped at every sound. I tinkered under the hoods of both cars. First the first one, then the second. The batteries were quietly moved aside. I returned the keys to the vase, let everything look as it did before, until someone tries to start a car. On my way out, Damien Stone nearly startled me. change your mind about stealing the keys? There's no need for that anymore. Why? I hid the batteries. From all the cars, no one is driving out of here now. That wasn't the deal, he hissed. We haven't made a deal yet. Now, we're going to make one. He was silent. He looked at me for a long time. Then he nodded, once, short and sharp. We talked for a long time. I laid it all out. Kidnap Amber Lawson, hide her in the basement of the outbuildings, stage her disappearance, break Arthur's alliance with his mistress, and then the main event. Arthur's biggest fear is being broke. It's his core value. There's nothing worse for a man like him than poverty. In a divorce, he'll get half, Damian Stone argued. He won't get a cent, not a penny. Amber Lawson will file the police report herself and expose everything, including what he planned to do to me. She hates you. She thinks you don't deserve everything you have. She's right in a way. I smile sadly. My father earned all this money. I just inherited it. But that doesn't give her more right to it than me. Yes, the world is unfair, but we don't control that. And we certainly don't have the right to take a life. I think when she realizes Arthur is going to get rid of her too, she'll change her mind. A long pause. Fine, he said finally. We'll try it your way. But if anything goes wrong, I'm going back to my plan. Thank you. He looked at me and spoke for the first time without the coldness. You're stronger than you think. It wasn't a compliment. It was a fact.